Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host Saeed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, Monday the 13th of June 2022. It's a rainy day in Trinidad and Tobago. Tropical wave, flood throughout Trinidad. Where is Wassa? Where is Wassa? Tonight Wassa is supposed to be claiming all the waters in Trinidad. How come we're not hearing anything from Marvin Gonzalez? Marvin! How come Wassa ain't claiming their water? Since Wassa love to claim water throughout Trinidad, all water on the land in Trinidad belongs to Wassa. How come Wassa not claiming their water? It's Mash Up Monday tonight. 238-6716 is the phone number to call in, viewers, to make your comments live right here on Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Remember, viewers, we have our studio at number 14 Carolina Savannah Road in Shogunas. We are just sending a link for Synergy to broadcast worldwide. So, on your Facebook account, we know everybody have a Facebook account. You could grab your phone, grab your laptop, go by your computer, search for Real Talk with Saieed Ali on your Facebook account. When it pops up, just like it and share it, viewers. I want you to do that now. It is important that you share it, and share it. Let the entire world know about Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Just go on and share it. Go onto your YouTube link also. Type in TT Real Talk. So hit the subscribe button and you would know when we go live. And just share the live. Trinidad and Tobago, I want you to share the live. Why, Saeed? Why are you saying this? Because we want other countries. We want other ministers. We want other MPs. We want other senators. We want other councillors to understand what is taking place in Trinidad and Tobago. We used to be the little Dubai of the Caribbean. Today we are like South Africa in the desert. That is who we have become thus far. From little Dubai in the Caribbean to South Africa desert. Imagine that. Imagine that. But nevertheless, I want them to understand what is taking place in Trinidad. In a population of 1.4 million people with a refinery. We had a refinery. We were refining our own oil. And now we are like a desert. We like beggars in the Caribbean, watching our neighboring countries climb up the ladder. Guyana don't have a refinery, but they're making it. They are making it. Barbados don't have a refinery, but they reduce gas price. Imagine that. Imagine that. But nevertheless, I am Saieed Ali. You're viewing Real Talk with Saieed Ali, and thank you so much for joining us. If you're looking at us on your Facebook account, on YouTube, on television, thank you so much. Call your friends, call your family, let them know Real Talk is live on Synergy Network. So remember, viewers, remember you could tell your friends, you could tell your family that if they're looking for cash, it's not a problem. I am not a bank. I am not a bank, but one day God will bless me with one. I am a licensed money lender. I love to lend. As long as you have some form of collateral or security, something for me to hold, it's not a problem. We love to lend. I love to lend. God bless me so that I could lend and make more money. And it is also giveaway. We love to give. By the end of this week, we're going to have a nice little food drive giveaway. Nevertheless, we thank God for it. We thank God for it. So viewers, if you want to get in touch with me, those are the numbers on screen. Do not hesitate. Feel free to get in touch with me if you want to do business. We love to do business, you know. God have blessed me to become a successful businessman right here in Trinidad and Tobago. Even though many would not like me because I stand for one thing, I stand for the correct thing. I stand for the correct thing. And I always say, if you are part of the problem, you could never be a part of the solution. I always say that. So when you hear you're causing problem in your house, the neighbor had to come and fix the problem because we're so blind we can't even see it. We can't even see it. Imagine that. But nevertheless, as we start off our show tonight, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has remained in the United States for a routine medical checkup. Dr. Rowley, 73, left TNT on June 6 to attend the 9th Summit of the Americas in Los Angeles, California, which ended on Friday last. Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Minister Dr. Amy Brown and Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, Stuart Young, were part of the delegation which Rowley led. A delegation. In a statement on Sunday, the Office of the Prime Minister said Rowley will stay back in California. Senior government official speaking on conditions of remaining anonymous stated that Rowley is in good health and the tests he will undergo are one he has done in the past. Finance Minister Colin Imbut will continue to act as Prime Minister until Rowley returns. Just imagine, Finance Minister acting as Rowley. The man who said you will pay a penalty if you don't pay property tax. That is the Prime Minister. Acting as Prime Minister in Trinidad and Tobago. That is the same man who exempted millionaires. Or let's say something. Say something. Or let's say we love him but who bring in tax on we. How come all are saying that? How come all ain't saying that? Moving on. After several protests and public outcry against the 2% wage increase offered by public servants, the government is now seeking to make an improved offer to represent union. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service Social and Welfare Association met with the Chief Personnel Officer, Dr. Darrell Dindal, and its President, Superintendent of Police, Gideon Dixon, said they got good feedback. Good feedback they got. Caller, good night.
Good night.
Go right ahead, you're live on Real Talk.
Oh, yeah. I am from Pediatric, right? Hello?
He waiting for you to answer? Now, Dixon stated that the CPO indicated that government noted the outright rejection of the 2% offer, and they will try to improve that offer. Dixon also noted that his association will meet again soon to get a revised offer and describe the meeting with the CPO as professionally conducted. He added that his members rejected the CPO's 2% offer for 8 years, now 2014 to 2021, and were asking for 27% over 6 years, 2014 to 2019. Dixon said the police have made it clear that they need a better offer than one on the table, which they labeled as ridiculous. Caller, good night.
A very, very good evening to you, Mr. Saeed.
To you, my friend. Go right ahead. You're live on Real Talk.
Terence Piazzi said that we have the best health care in the Commonwealth.
Yes, yes, yes.
So what the hell Rowley doing in Los Angeles and we have the best health care? All the best.
Thank you so much. The best health care in the CARICOM we have. When I come up here and I tell you all, these ministers be bruising the heads of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. All I feel is joke I just be making. All I feel Saeed only want to talk because he have a show. No, it's the raw facts that is bringing to you all. Nothing else but the truth. The best health care in the Caribbean. The best health care in the Caribbean. Huh? All I hear that? The best health care in CARICOM and we can't get seat up. The best health care in the Caribbean and when you go to the hospital is Panadine, Panadol, Panadine, Panadol, Panadine, Panadol. Or let's talk now, or let's say something. Or let's say something. Let me tell you something, that's why they can't stop Saeed, you know. They cannot stop me from talking the truth. Instead that they come to muzzle me, I might muzzle them. I go outside, I can't talk. You feel like business about them? Huh? Their thing is to be in power. They get a large back pay. They get a large month-end salary. To get exemptions, that is their thing. How the hell we have the best healthcare in CARICOM? Huh? How come? And everything in the hospital is Panadol and Panadine. We can't get CDAP, but we have the best healthcare. How let's talk now. How let's talk now. The people who visit the hospital, they will tell you the truth. They are sitting and telling you the truth. Call her good night.
Good night.
Go right ahead.
Hello, good night.
You're live on Real Talk. Go right ahead.
All right, Mr. Saeed.
Yes.
I live in Burnett Street, right? Petersfield.
What street?
Burnett Street, Petersfield, Shawanas, right?
Petersfield. Okay, go right ahead.
I had paid WASA over 3 years for connection, right? For water. And I ain't get it up to now. And it have other people had get connection.
You have the documents?
Yes, I have everything full and plus the road real.
Alright, here what to do. Pass by my office tomorrow and I will make a copy of the document. You
Okay.
see, the public does like to see evidence now, boy.
Yes, I have evidence and the road real bad.
Do a little video of the road
Yes.
and drop the documents around 10 o'clock from my office.
Well, alright. Well, I'm working, right? And I will pass by your office and I'll drop it off tomorrow. I'll go show you videos.
Not a problem. Thank you so much. Do a little video clip on the road and we go highlight it tomorrow. Tuesday, we go highlight it Wednesday night. Thank you, my friend. TNT could be facing food shortage and higher food price over the next few months. This was expected. Flour, vegetable oil and other type of meats are some of the product or produce that the country could be facing possible shortage of. Now, members of the business community stated that this shortage and higher price are due to the conflict in Ukraine and other factors like a lack of access to foreign exchange. Hey, hear this. Let me put a plunge on it right here. You see the conflict between Ukraine and Russia? Let me tell you something. We is the only one in Trinidad here complaining about it. You know why am I saying that? The rest of Caribbean countries, they're doing good. They're doing good. They're doing good. Guyana doing good, they reduce price. Them are studying war. Barbados doing good, they reduce gas. You think them studying war? The cabinet down here. Let me tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago. It is the cabinet of Trinidad and Tobago took it upon themselves to raise the fuel price. Let me tell you something, all that don't get tied up. Do not get tied up. Remember when I played the video clip for you where Colin Member said the cabinet took that decision because of the war? The cabinet, all don't get tied up, Trinidad and Tobago. You know what causing shortage now with food? Lack of US currency. Lack of US currency. Just imagine I had to pay $8 for $1 US. You know what they call that? We call that lack of US currency. We have a demand, but we don't have the supply. Why? Because central bank decide, you know what? We go hold it in ourselves. That is what they decide to do. You think it's easy, but hear this now. Hear this. A media release from the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations in TNT warned that TNT and other countries worldwide to brace for higher food price. Let me tell you something, it have things you could substitute and use. We could substitute things and use. Commenting on the likelihood of widespread shortage, President of the Supermarket Association of Trinidad and Tobago, Rajiv Dipti stated that there are a logical problem which exists in the countries in terms of importing and producing. So viewers, we took the opportunity today, because of this matter, we took the opportunity today to contact the supermarket president, Mr. Rajiv Dipti. We have him on the line tonight. Good night, Rajiv.
Good night, Saeed. Good night, Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you so much for joining us. I know you're a busy person. All over the night you're having meetings. Now, will TNT soon face any food shortage and increase in food price, Rajiv?
Well, what we're seeing with the rest of the world right now, Saeed, is a situation that arose from the pandemic, and that was the shipping container crisis.
Yes.
What's really affecting that right now, as we've seen, is that fuel prices have skyrocketed, and that's due to the energy prices. So we have the cost of fuel for shipping lanes increasing. We have the cost of a container on average at $20,000 US for a container of goods. We have the price of the goods in the container right now at prices that are, because of the demand and supply situation, we've seen India ground exports. They have withheld sugar from the global market. That has put a strain on the imports that are available to the region, which is why we've seen the conversation between Guyana and Trinidad really strengthen in the weeks and the months that have passed recently. And there is this deep concern about food prices and where they are going. Now, foreign exchange and the typical factors have all had a role to play. One of the things that we've seen coming out, and I want to be fair to Exim Bank here, they have an essential list of goods that they have always been willing to work with the suppliers to ensure that there is an allocation for them to draw upon when they have to import. So, which is why we've not seen any acute or any drastic shortages of empty shelves in supermarkets. But that is a short-term fix, That's something that we're going to be pulling and drawing upon as the calendar year goes on. It's going to be a situation where, if in particular with the war in Ukraine, remember that there are silos of grain, wheat, in these territories that we're trying to see right now if countries like Turkey can get the transport out to the Black Sea and get it back onto the world market to add that relief. So it's a situation right now where, with using Sheikh Klisha as an example, because they were a company that took an ad out in one of the dailies to explain the situation, and we've been in contact with Mr. Akalu and his team. We understand what the concerns are, and it's something that's being addressed right now. It's certainly something that's a result of a lot of factors, but it's something that the region as a whole is facing right now, and it's something that we are talking more and more closely with our neighbors, as you pointed out, to really see how we can outsource production. And this is a very late fix, belatedly in the game. You don't fix things when things are broken, but we're trying to see what can be done now.
Now, Rajiv, I know one of the main factor that would cause this is the price that we as businessmen in Trinidad have to pay for US. Now, because of the lack of US, there would be serious shortage of food. Because of the price we would have to pay for US, it's come like, you know what, but if I have to pay $10 for US, you better come out of this business. Am I right?
So we have several manufacturers and distributors in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, the manufacturers themselves, they import the inputs of production. Let's use our local flour millers as an example. They import the grain that we get the flour from. With some of the distributors, what we see now is that with this essentials list that we would have created during the pandemic in 2020 with the Exim Bank, is that things like flour, vegetable oil, sugar, rice, the basics, the things that we consider toilet paper, these are all on an essential list where foreign exchange is to be allocated. That's not something that's in question. That's something that's already put in place that suppliers and distributors can access. Now, there will be those manufacturers, distributors and suppliers who cannot access foreign exchange from that facility because they are not considered to be on the essential list. So it's really a prioritization of the allocation of foreign exchange when we look at what the consumer needs are. So you're correct, but I also want to highlight that we have the basics covered, which is why we've not seen any empty supermarket shelves.
Now, Rajiv, talking about outsourcing produce from other countries, such as flour, rice, grains, all these things. Now, apart from Ukraine and Russia, is there other countries in the world that Trinidad businessmen could be able to target these countries as suppliers to us?
Certainly, Saieed. So when we consider Ukraine and Russia, we're considering what they are known as the breadbasket of Europe. They produce 30% of the world's supply of grain, wheat, sunflower oil, barley. The U.S. is also a major producer. However, I made note of the rising energy prices. So what the U.S. is doing presently is they're using fields of corn and maize for biodiesel production to make ethanol. So that's putting a strain on that source of corn and wheat as well. And we're seeing something similar in Brazil, where adverse climate conditions have made the yields less. So there are suppliers. You can go as far as India. However, India is in a situation right now where they've grounded exports because they want to tend to domestic food security that is taking care of their own people first, the 1 billion plus that they have to take care of, which is why the smaller islands are very vulnerable and at risk in the Dutch-speaking and English-speaking Caribbean region. And this is why we're seeing these heads of state come together now to really find a solution, because it's something that needs to be done. When we consider the arable lands, be it in Guyana or even Trinidad and Tobago, and the incentives and the restructuring of the framework for agriculture as a profession and as something that we consider a commercial enterprise, there's a lot of fixing from a regulatory and facilitation standpoint. We have to get serious about it. We have to empower the unit. I think they're ahead of us in Guyana in that regard, because it's just something that we've played too much politics with for too long as a nation for several decades.
Now, tell us, Rajiv, now coming to the supermarkets in Trinidad and Tobago, could you tell us how the lack of US currency in our country, could you say how it have affected supermarkets in Trinidad, and if there is any supermarket that have been shut down, could you give us a figure?
Where stores have been affected to be shut down, that has not been the case. What you will see in supermarkets is this, where the products are just not available because of the foreign exchange not being there. So there's a couple of conditions that exist in a global way. We have the foreign suppliers that deal with the local suppliers. Those foreign suppliers have new credit terms when you're buying because of the just-in-time approach and the lack of foreign exchange and the scarcity of products and the volumes of products coming into play. So there's that financial strain between businesses, between companies doing business to get product inside of here. There's also that situation right now where foreign exchange is going to get you less food for what you're paying for. This year we will experience the highest food import bill on record because the prices internationally are soaring. And that does not necessarily mean that we're getting more product into the island. It just means that we're paying more for the same or a lower volume of food. And that is really frightening when you consider that some of the islands don't have the import cover or the foreign exchange cover that this country has. We still lean on a Heritage and Stabilization Fund. And that's something that we have, but it's something that where if we didn't have that side, we would have had to undergo drastic diet modifications. As it is right now, we're still consuming all the imported goods.
Now, I know you are not the manager of a bank or anything like that, right? Now, could you tell us in Trinidad and Tobago what you think, just an idea of what you think the banks could do or look forward into doing just to make sure that the business sector in Trinidad and Tobago have access to US currency rather than just go to one entity as the Exim Bank?
So the banking sector and the regulations or the lack of oversight or whatever you want to look at it between the central bank and the banking climate is something that they have their allocations and they each have different governance structures. We have foreign banks operating here. We have First Citizens Bank and Republic as the local banks. So those are the banks you probably will get further with than the foreigners. Further to that, what we've heard a lot about in the last 2 years in particular, since COVID was a big thing, is the digital framework for doing business. That really makes it a lot easier when we consider that contracts can be put into place, the ease of banking can be facilitated, and we'll have a better idea of what is doable from a now standpoint, a speculative and futures scenario when we consider the banking climate. Now, we saw in February and March what happened with the government checks, and we've been advocating since then for a digital framework to ease. We've seen that there have been indications where fintech and digital currencies are being explored in some of the Caribbean islands already, whereas this particular nation is still lagging behind. We used to set the tone in the Caribbean, and now we're having to play catch up. So it's certainly something that will ease the access to foreign exchange. I'm not saying it's actually, we have a limited amount side, but the allocation and prioritization of who needs it could be more efficient. And remember to where there's a lack of efficiency there, it's going to cost more.
Correct.
It's going to cost more foreign exchange when you could probably do the same business for less because of a better framework for doing business.
Rajiv, I do want to thank you so much. Is there anything you would like to tell Trinidad and Tobago before we wrap up the session?
I just want to wish everyone all the best, and you continue to do the good work that you do. Good luck with the food drive, and my compliments to you and your team as always for doing a fantastic job, Saeed.
Thank you so much, Rajiv. To you and your family, be safe out there, my friend.
Thank you. Good night, Trinidad and Tobago.
So viewers, you heard it from the president of the Supermarket Association in Trinidad and Tobago, some real facts of what is taking place. And you know, one thing I like about Rajiv, he wouldn't put water in his mouth to talk. He will tell you as it is black and white is white. That is what I love about him. That's why we try to keep him on the show, you know, as often as possible to give us ideas of what the supermarket is doing, the association, what are they looking for, what talks are they having with who, you know, to keep us updated on things that are happening, especially in the food industry. It is a must. And concerning the digital, moving forward with the digital marketing, I believe Jamaica is the first in the Caribbean to go forward with it thus far. I believe so as of yesterday. Always on top of the news, you know, always on top. Moving along from that, viewers, the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARPHA, stated that as of Friday, there were no confirmed cases of monkeypox in the Caribbean. However, the organization warned it would arrive at some point. The World Health Organization, WHO, latest report stated that the number of confirmed cases across 700 cases across Europe, Australia, North America, South America, and the Middle East is not endemic. I want you to understand that. The first case of monkeypox was identified in 1970, and it is a rare viral zoonotic infection transmitted from animal to human, but it does not spread easily between people. The release added that CARPHA is in the process of getting the necessary reagents for the molecule testing of monkeypox, and it signed an agreement with the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, that is the CDC, to refer suspected samples from CARPHA member states for testing. The result could take 10 to 14 days after reaching the CDC. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Ali.
Go right ahead, you're live on Real Talk, my friend.
I want to ask a question, like Carib and all them things where they exporting, does that foreign exchange come back to Trinidad?
Hopefully by tomorrow I should get your answer for you.
Yeah, because because all the people who exported, like Carib and Stag and all them things, that money, when them export that product, that foreign exchange ain't coming back here.
Correct. It goes to the company.
Simple. And the company have the bank outside.
Correct.
Am I right?
Thank you, my friend.
All right, thank you.
Hey, hear this now. Export market from Trinidad to the world. We could have a lot of money coming into Trinidad. But, you see, bad management in any business would sink any ship. Would sink any ship. Parafueling and Heritage Petroleum, they declared millions of dollars in profit. Millions. But the refinery couldn't make no money. The refinery could make no money, you know. The thing that's supposed to be generating US currency for Trinidad and Tobago, it couldn't make no money. But two companies had raised up, Parafueling and Heritage Petroleum. When Petrotrin shut down, they making money. Petrotrin couldn't make, you know. Heritage and the other one making. Bad management would sink any ship. Like the NIB board telling us, if we raise the age from 60 to 65, people would work longer and they would pay more NIS and BIR. Them heads and them they realize is due to the lack of so much of people being unemployed, the lack of people being employed, that caused the drop in the NIS and the NIB. They may want to come out and tell me that, but well, you know, if we extend the age from 60 to 65, those that working would contribute a longer to NIS and BIR. And they may study how much thousands people lost their work, who used to contribute to NIS and BIR and health surcharge. They may study who lost their work. They have about 500-600 people working. No, I lie. About 500-600 people working. They go, them will extend their age and they go full the capacity. How about thousands, 100,000 lost their work? Huh? How about 100,000 lost their work? That is why I always say, that is why I will always say and continue saying it. There are those who would love Saieed for what he's doing, and there are those who would not like me for exposing the truth. Some of them, because they have a little education, oh God, here we go down. We're going to wrap up the head and we go down with that. Just tell them A is B and them good with that. But a man like me, you know, who come out and tell them A is A and B is B, they don't like that. They don't like that. Caller, good night.
Good night.
Go right ahead, you're live on Real Talk.
Okay, I'm calling concerning the Supermarket Association. Hello?
Yes, go right ahead, I'm hearing you.
Yeah, I think the Supermarket Association should form some community or group or something to deal direct with the farmers.
To deal direct with the farmers?
With the farmers, because...
No, but I believe there are some supermarkets in Trinidad and Tobago that deals with farmers, you know. Now, when you say, tell me exactly what you mean by deal with farmers.
Well, I mean, like, instead of important things like sweet pepper and broccoli and then we growing that right here.
No, but there are farmers, maybe not in your area, right, or community, but there are farmers who supply groceries with their produce.
Yeah, but again, when you go Macoy and see,
I understand what you're saying. Exactly, I understand what you're saying there now.
Right. Hello?
Yes, go right ahead.
Yeah, when you go Macoy and see the volume of goods, right? The supermarket and them buying is like 10 chocolate, you know what I mean?
No, what you have to keep in mind is that there are the people who have vegetable stalls, and they also go to buy in quantity.
No, what I'm talking about is the fellas who buying for the supermarket. Yeah, you know. If you look at the direct and the Mokoya market really run by the middleman.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
It really run and farmers.
Here what to do?
Yeah.
You are a farmer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now in your community, how many farmers are there?
Only about 200.
200 farmers?
Yeah.
Alright, here what to do. Call me tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right? At 238-6716 or 339-1670.
Yeah.
Leave your name, just tell them you were the farmer who contacted Saieed live on the show. Leave your name and leave your number, and I will get in touch with you, and I will also get in touch with Rajiv Dipti, and we could see what we will work out from there.
Alright.
Thank you so much for calling in, my friend. We could work out something. Probably the supermarket association and other supermarkets could come together and buy stuff from the farmers, and you know they can have the ball spinning, something like a circle, something like that. The Pediatric Society of Trinidad and Tobago has re-emphasized its endorsement for the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine for children aged 5 to 11, referring to it as a game changer against pandemic. And Terence Yalsing was saying the same thing, a game changer, until we had adverse cases and nobody said anything again. I am not against the Pediatric Society, you know. I am not against them. But nobody is dealing with the adverse conditions of individuals, and that is the problem. That is the problem I am having. That is why I use the term. Do you think Terence care about you if you have adverse condition? No, them no business. There is nothing in place to deal with it. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So I have nothing against the Pediatric Society wanting to endorse the vaccine. Absolutely nothing against that. But one day my children coming out like the other thing and say, you know, there's a lack of 5 to 11 with parents coming forward to take the vaccine. But they didn't deal with the pandemic proper from the beginning, what you expect in the end. That's why Terence came out and said, you know, there's a lack of people coming forward because a lot of people calling in live on the program and telling the world about Trinidad and Tobago where individuals got adverse condition and nobody's yet to pick up the mantle for them. No ministry, no doctor, no nurse, no clinic, absolutely nothing. I wonder how Terence just feel when Said come up and hammer him on TV. I wonder how he does feel. Minister of Health Terence Yalsing presented the doctors, nurses and other healthcare workers at the Toko Health Center, at the Kumana and Matura Outreach Centers with a letter of commendation in recognition of their quality service to their community. The minister urged them to publicly display the letter to serve as further motivation for staff to continue being wonderful human beings they are. The Yalsing also credited the Eastern Regional Health Authority Chief Executive Officer Ronald Thosafat, as well as the country medical officer and health managers and staff for doing a wonderful job of nurturing their staff as community leaders. Terence, let me bust a little bubble. Let me bust a little bubble on you. You see those nurses and those doctors? They choose that profession to help people. They choose that. That is what they studied for at a young age. That is what they wanted to be. They wanted to be in that field. So while you go on a media briefing and you tell the country A when it's supposed to be B, they will come out and say a C is a C and a D is a D, Terrence. That is the difference, Mr. Minister. They chose that job. Yours was appointed unto you. Don't get tired up. Don't get tired up. Call her good night.
Good night.
Go right ahead, you're live on Real Talk.
Yeah. Is there really a pediatric society? Because in social media in some places they were questioning the legitimacy about a pediatric society. Is that something that they just put out there so that they could say that the pediatric society is recommending the vaccine? So that's a question that needs to be answered.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you mean. I clearly understand what you're saying.
All right. Thank you. Having a good night.
Thank you so much, my friend. Well said. You see, this is why there's one people to call in, you know. This is why. Let me tell you something. Let's start spreading the word. Spread the word about Real Talk, because presently we are the #1 current affairs. And just now we might be the #1 in news. Take all the time. Take all the time. Don't get too excited. Don't get too excited. So we're moving into other crime news now. As the illegal gun trade continues to flourish, law enforcement officials have found that the preferred weapon of choice seems to be the pistol, which retails for between $16,000 to $20,000. However, the AK-47 and the AR-15 semi-automatic rifle are said to be the most expensive, retailing locally for between $40,000 and $50,000. Officials have admitted that the price are not a deterrent to criminals. McDonald Jacob confirmed that the 302 illegal weapons recovered by TTPS for the year thus far were 154 pistols. So pistol seems to be the gun. He revealed that the TTPS was working with the Alcohol, Tobacco and Firearm Bureau, the Drug Enforcement Agency, the Department of Homeland Security, to tackle the issue after they identified that there are a transnational crime ring that is operating in relation to firearms. Come back. Let me read this again for you, Trinidad and Tobago, so you would understand something. McDonald here. He revealed that the TTPS is working with the Alcohol, Tobacco and Firearm Bureau, that is the ATF, the Drug Enforcement Agency, that is the DEA, the Department of Homeland Security, to tackle the issue after they identified that there is a transnational crime ring that is operating in relations to firearm. They now identify that. McDonald Jacob. Correct me if I am wrong, Trinidad and Tobago. McDonald Jacob is an acting commissioner of police. Now, I must step back a little bit here. To be the acting commissioner of police, you have to pass through a series of rank, which means you would have been in the TTPS for a number of years. Stephen William identified the firearm trade. The former Commissioner of Police, Gary Griffith, identified the firearm trade. McDonald Jacob come up now to tell us in Trinidad and Tobago that they have identified the firearm trade, the illegal trade in Trinidad and Tobago. So I want to ask myself, what the hell have TTPS been doing all the time? All the time. What have been their plans to combat importation of firearm in Trinidad and Tobago? What has been their plans? What is their plans? Do they have a plan? Can they stop the guns from coming into Trinidad and Tobago? Faris Al-Rawi, the former Attorney General of Trinidad and Tobago, came out on a national platform and said, we have information when the illegal immigrants were coming into Trinidad and Tobago that they know the man of the boat, the man who had the boat bringing them in. He know of a hut and who is the owner of the hut. He know the boss man that transport them. And up to now, Trinidad and Tobago, Faris come and gone. Have anybody been charged? Jacob now want to tell us, well, you know, where we identified transnational and illegal firearm trade. Jacob, I am 47 years of age, a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. And for all my years growing up in Trinidad and Tobago, I have known about the illegal firearm trade in Trinidad and Tobago. What do you have to say now? What do you have to say now? We have all the secret services in Trinidad and Tobago. We have all the technology that TTPS needs to have. And to this date, how many individuals have been caught? History is making in Trinidad and Tobago where murderers are getting bail and stepping out from the prison as murdered, as how they say, murdered convicts. That is making history in Trinidad and Tobago. But McDonald Jacob want to talk about they identify a transnational in the gun trade. Boy, all I had to be joking, you know. No wonder why other countries laughing at Trinidad and Tobago because of people like all you. People like all you so. Oh, side, don't talk about the man like that. He's a police. Well, that's his business. McDonald Jacob supposed to be the first man, the very first man in Trinidad and Tobago acting as the Commissioner of Police to go against the Minister of National Security, Fitzgerald Hines, for using the statement as follows. I am not the one to make Trinidad and Tobago citizens feel safe. McDonald Jacob supposed to be the first man to launch a verbal attack against the Minister of National Security. But what you do? Tail between his leg and he run down the road. Now let's talk now. Talk now. Say something. I want to hear all you. Anybody went after Hines for making no statement? Absolute no. Nobody. Nobody. I was the only man who matched him up on national television. The only man. Because he's a minister, I should afraid he? Because he's national security minister, I should afraid no, I am a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. My tax money, my company tax money, paying them salary. Jacob claimed that majority of these weapons were being smuggled into TNT via legal port of entry from North America, and he stated that the Ministry of National Security was currently working on developing a border security network to stem this flow. You know how long I hearing that? You know how long I hearing that? So since we're talking about border security network, it brings me back to this. Could Bridget Anderson George, the House Speaker, come out and tell the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago if she is satisfied with the way that the Coast Guard in Trinidad and Tobago is handling the borders? And at the same time, could she come out and tell the nation if they are properly maintained, since she prevented our beloved Minister of National Security, Fitzgerald Hines, from answering the question? That is my question to her. Tell me afraid them, you know. I ain't afraid them, you know. They have their job to do. I have mine to do. They making money. I making money. My company tax paying their salaries. My workers NIS paying them. So when you tell yourself the government doing all your favor, the government ain't doing all your no favor. Their job is to make sure they're secure. That is their job. They ain't doing me no favor. We paying them. Don't get tired up. Don't get tired up and feel them doing a favor. No, them ain't doing no favor. They collecting a large salary, something that the money them getting all may not see it in about 10 generations. So they may do no favor. That is their job. My job is to come and update you, tell you what's going on, tell you about your rights. All you're paying me, I spending my money, and yet I'm educating all you. And yet some all you're ungrateful. So you should crash and dead. When I getting past to help you and your wife and your children and things, you don't say nothing. You don't say nothing that time. I wonder who I'm talking about. It's easy. It's easy in Trinidad and Tobago. Well, let me tell you something. We have to stand up for we rights. We have to stand up for we rights. A little crime news. One woman was arrested and a quantity of cocaine and marijuana was seized when police conducted a joint anti-crime exercise in St. James. During the exercise, police executed a search warrant for dangerous drugs at the residence located at Salza Street in St. James. A blue handlebar containing 5 packs of marijuana as well as a clear plastic bag containing cocaine were found. Police seized the narcotics and arrested a woman who was taken to the St. James police station. Congratulations to the St. James officers. Job well done. Anti-crime exercise in Cuba on Saturday led to the seizure of a grenade, ammunition, magazine, and camouflage clothing. Police state that officers of the Northeastern Division Intelligence Unit received information about the weapon and drugs being stashed on Otters Lane, Cuba, and when they went to the area around 7 a.m. They went to some bushes on a riverbank where they found a pair of Defense Force issued pants, jacket, and a camouflage t-shirt. Police also found a M75 fragment, a M75 Yugoslavian fragmentation grenade, a double drum magazine capable of holding 200 rounds of ammunition, and a single drum magazine also capable of holding 200 rounds of ammunition. They found 25 rounds of ammunition together with 92.7 grams of cocaine and 338 grams of marijuana. Congratulations to the Northeastern Division Intelligence Unit. Well done, well done. You saw information pass on to the police. Works? Information. So just before we close up tonight, we probably have about 3 minutes left, viewers. Remember about 2 weeks back or 3 weeks back, a guy called in on live television and said in the Cuba district where he woke up one morning about 2 a.m., 1, 2, 3, somewhere around there, and saw a police vehicle and 2 police officers like they were stealing cables. Well, they were not stealing cables. The officer contacted me, gave me his name, gave me his colleague name. They gave me the police vehicle number. What happened is that they were called out on patrol to a certain area. And while heading back to their district, they received a call from command center stating that in the Cuba area, in that particular area that the guy called in, command center told them that there were some individuals stealing cables. That was the report. So they responded to command center with the call because they were almost back to their area. They dipped in the street that were mentioned, that the guy called, and they went and they pulled down the cable that were hanging, blocking the roadway. They pulled down the cable. There was a ladder by the pole. They took the ladder and they were putting it inside the police vehicle. Apparently that is when the guy woke up. And when he came outside, he saw that. Hence the reason why he called in and on live television and told us what was taking place. So I just want to clear the air that they were coming back from a patrol that they were called out to assist, and going back to their area, the command center called them and indicated to them that they received a call. Certain individuals were cutting wire in a certain street in the Cuba there, and they were going back to their base, and they just dipped in because they responded because they were in the area, and they just report back to command center that yes, we are in the area and we will take a look. And that is how the whole incident happened. So the guy gave me his name, his colleague name, even the number of the vehicle, and I did check it out. I did check it out. That's why it took so long to bring you an update on it. But that is just to clarify that caller who called in. But thank you so much for calling in and letting us know what is taking place. So viewers, this is why I ask you every night, call in. We want to hear from you. You see, it's when you call in and that bit of information goes public, people becomes aware. They becomes aware. Now this is a real a live program. Real Talk with Saieed Ali is a live program that it airs on Synergy from Monday to Friday from 7 to 8 p.m. So there's a rerun of this program tomorrow morning, viewers, from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Remember, if you're looking for cash, 238-6716, 339-1670, or 242-7690. Until we meet again, viewers, be safe. Enjoy your night.